This is a thesis by Viviana R. Moscovich. For over 500 years, the Khipu, these beautiful knotted chords, have remained one of history's greatest unsolved puzzles. Were they simply accounting tools or something far more profound? Viviana's work begins with this ancient mystery and dares to ask a question no one has fully answered. Was the Khipu a reusable work tool, constantly updated and changed, or was it a final, permanent report meant to last for generations? Today, she'll guide us toward a surprising and elegant answer. To solve this mystery, Viviana has structured her presentation like a journey through the layers of Inca power. She will first show us the paradox that has confused scholars for centuries. Then she'll reveal how the Inca organized information across different levels of their empire. By the end, we will understand not just what the Khipu was, but why it took so many different forms. This is not just a story about ancient knots. It is a story about how empires control knowledge itself. Imagine two completely different pictures of the same object. Historical accounts describe Inca accountants constantly untying and retying knots, treating the Khipu like a living, editable document. Yet when we look at the actual quipus preserved in museums, many of them show no signs of ever being changed. How is this possible? This contradiction between a flexible working tool and an unchanging final record is the central mystery Viviana set out to solve. Her thesis proves we have been asking the wrong question for a very long time. Viviana builds her argument on the shoulders of great scholars who came before her. They taught us how the Inca used a decimal system, how knot directions carried meaning, and how local communities were connected to the capital. But something essential was missing. No one had fully explained how information moved upward through the empire's hierarchy. Viviana's work completes this picture by showing us the missing link, the different types of quipus used at each level of power. To crack this ancient code, Viviana did something remarkable. She combined three very different types of evidence: ancient written texts, careful physical examination of the quipus themselves, and real archaeological sites where these records were actually used. By bringing these three worlds together, she was able to see patterns that no one had noticed before. This approach allowed her to connect the physical form of each Khipu directly to its administrative purpose. The heart of Viviana's discovery is both simple and profound. There were not one, but three completely different types of quipus, each designed for a different job. Type A quipus, used at the local level, were made to be changed and updated constantly. Type B quipus served as translation tools between local communities and the Imperial Center. Type C quipus, wrapped in protective tubes, were permanent records that were never meant to be altered. This single insight resolves centuries of confusion. The Khipu's function depended entirely on its place in the empire's hierarchy. The heart of Viviana's discovery is both simple and profound. There were not one, but three completely different types of quipus, each designed for a different job. Type A quipus, used at the local level, were made to be changed and updated constantly. Type B quipus served as translation tools between local communities and the Imperial Center. Type C quipus, wrapped in protective tubes, were permanent records that were never meant to be altered. This single insight resolves centuries of confusion. The Khipu's function depended entirely on its place in the empire's hierarchy. One of the most exciting moments in Viviana's research comes from Puruchuco. Here, 7 quipus were found together in a single urn, and they form a perfect 3-level accounting system. The bottom level recorded raw local data. The middle level summed and organized that information. The top level created final reports for the empire. Even more astonishing, the highest quipus carry a kind of geographical zip code made of special knots, proving the Inca had developed sophisticated ways to track where information came from. This discovery shows us the Inca were not just counting, they were building an entire information architecture. At the sacred site of Pachacamac, Viviana found something truly remarkable. A single storage building contained 20 chambers, a 20-compartment counting board, and 9 quipus, all perfectly aligned. This was not a coincidence. It was a fully integrated administrative system in which the physical space, the counting device, and the knotted records all worked together as one. The Inca had created a complete ecosystem for managing wealth and information, something we are only now beginning to fully appreciate. When we step back and look at the full picture Viviana has revealed, we see something extraordinary. The Inca Empire ran on a 3-tiered system of information. local leaders used flexible quipus to manage daily life. Regional officials translated that data into standardized imperial formats. And at the very top, in Cusco, elite accountants received permanent, color-coded summary reports. Final records were often created in pairs, using opposing knot directions as a strict system of checks and balances. Information was power, and the Inca engineered it with remarkable sophistication. Viviana's thesis finally answers the question that opened this presentation. The Khipu was both a reusable work tool and a final report. Its purpose was determined entirely by its place in the administrative hierarchy. What once seemed like a contradiction is now revealed as a brilliant, multi-layered system. The Inca did not simply record information. They designed an entire architecture of knowledge that helped them govern one of the largest empires in the ancient world. Yet even as Viviana resolves this ancient mystery, she opens the door to exciting new questions. What geographic secrets are still hidden in the coloured tubes of the highest level quipus? What other sites might reveal similar hidden hierarchies? And what can the occasional non-decimal counts tell us about local knowledge that never reached the Imperial Centre? Her work does not end the story of the Khipu. It invites the next generation of researchers to continue the journey. In closing, Viviana reminds us that great discoveries are never made alone. She stands on the shoulders of earlier scholars while opening new paths forward. Her thesis transforms the Khipu from a silent mystery into a clear and logical voice from the past. Thanks to her work, we now understand that these knotted cords were far more than simple records. They were the living architecture of an empire. Thanks for joining me on this episode. If you liked what you heard, hit that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more. Your support means everything. See you next time.